to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you are listening to episode 159, Starting Over in a New Career. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Lorraine Rise, and you can learn more about myself, my team of coaches and writers at careeruprising.com. And I would love if you gave this show a review on Apple. Give me 5 stars, hopefully, and leave a review. I read them all. I appreciate them, and I actually ran a little contest last month that was very successful, and I gave away free copies of my book to anybody who gave me a review, and several of you took me up on that. So thank you all. I love and appreciate it. I'm not above bribery, not at all, but I just, I care about the show and I want to keep doing it. And Apple podcast reviews are absolutely critical to that. So, and I love your feedback. It helps me know that I'm not just talking to myself, right? You guys are out there and you are listening and loving it. So thank you for that. And welcome to another episode. Welcome to May as well. It's May 1st as I'm recording this, but I think May 6th when this comes out. So I hope that you are off to a good start. It's spring. I love that. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day outside right now in Virginia. We've had really, really early warm spring. I love it. So I've been getting out of my office and into the world a lot more. I've really been committing to try to put my device down more, get out and walk my dog, and really just get out from my computer. Also, in a professional sense, I've been a little bit less on social media and doing some more speaking engagements. I've got a couple of those lined up for myself this month. I did a book signing. I've got another book signing scheduled. I'm really trying to engage with people and get out of my house. And I would encourage you to do the same, especially if you work remote like me. It can be very isolating and you can be on your screen all day. And I just think that we really need to get out of our heads and out of our devices and into the world sometimes. So I'm committing to doing that now. I would invite you to do the same and do some mental, emotional, and physical spring cleaning in your life. It just feels so good. So, all right. We also need to start approaching the halfway point here in 2024 and thinking about, we're getting close. What do you want to achieve? What do you want the rest of this year to look like for yourself personally and professionally? I had the halfway points right around the corner, you guys. So think about your goals. Think about whether or not we can help you and whether or not a change is in the works for you, because springtime and spring cleaning is also something we have to do in our careers. And sometimes that means embracing change, right? So this episode and also the next episode, which is actually, I do this not on purpose, really. Sometimes when I do episodes, I record 2 at a time and they end up being like companions to each other. The topics end up being complementary, and I don't do that on purpose, but I think that's just very synchronistic. So this episode, we're going to talk about starting over in a new career. So change, right? Starting something new. And then in 2 weeks, the next episode is going to be embracing change and becoming adaptable. So perfect topics to do together. So look out for that episode around May 20th. So starting over, oh my goodness, those 2 words can bring fear and anxiety to a lot of people. Change is hard and it can feel overwhelming. But a lot of times it's necessary to start over in life in some way. Maybe you need to start over in your personal life and a relationship. Maybe you need to start over geographically and move to a new city. maybe you need to start over in your career. And I'm going to focus on that today because that's kind of our general theme, right? Maybe what you're doing now is no longer working for you. Maybe it's burning you out. Maybe you're not that interested in it. Maybe you never were. Maybe you just fell into this career and stayed in it. Whatever the reason is, no matter how old you are, you can start over. It's not too late for you. Unless you decide that it is, then it is, right? You are whatever you decide. But today, we're going to revisit the idea of changing careers because I haven't actually talked about this specifically in a while. It is one of the most common reasons why clients reach out to me for help because it's not an easy process. It's something that I have done twice in my career. I changed initially from retail management into human resources, and then I changed again into entrepreneurship, and I have not changed for the last time. I will again, and it might even be in my near future. I'm always thinking and trying to create and innovate and stay up to date. I may not be doing what I'm doing forever. There absolutely is probably a career change in my future at some point. I'm only 40. I got probably 25 more working years left, right? So we have to make space for change and make space for starting over. And I know that this process can be difficult. I've done it twice. And I do think that the difficulty can get magnified even more as you get older and you get to that mid or late career stage, which I guess I'm there. I'm mid-career. I'm now in the demographic of my own client base. I would call myself early career when I started Career Uprising, which is really funny. But this can be a scary place. I understand that, especially at that stage in your career. A lot of times, too, we become so entrenched in one industry or even one company that we really can't envision ourselves outside of it. We don't, it's like this world outside the fishbowl or the bubble. If we don't know where we fit into that world or how to even begin getting there. And I know that feeling. I absolutely know that feeling. My clients know that feeling, but they also know what it's like to create a new feeling and transcend that and find something new. So what I'm going to do today is, since we just have about 25 minutes, at a high level, I'm going to break down the career change process for you into some digestible high-level steps so you can understand what this process entails. What kind of questions do I need to be asking myself? What do I need to be thinking about? What do I need to be researching? How do I begin? And most importantly, we're going to touch on the action steps that you can take to get started, because you have to take action to make anything happen. All right, so there's a lot to unpack in the career change process. We won't get to all of it, but that's one of the reasons why I offer one-on-one coaching services, because there are a lot of personalizations and nuances to the process. Everybody's comes to me at a different stage in their career a little bit, or a different level of confidence, different industries. There's always some differences. So I love customizing that process to clients and getting to know them and starting from where they are and then bridging the gap from where they are to where they want to go. So we'd love to work with you. But for today, let's just kind of start with what this process is, generally speaking. All right. And I wanted also, I make this concession or this kind of disclaimer a lot, but it's so important. Before we dive into these steps, please feel free to apply these 4 steps that I'm going to outline to any area of your life. Career coaching is life coaching. This happens to just be one specific aspect of your life, but this is a repeatable process that you can apply to your health or your personal life, social, whatever. feel free to wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay. So I'm really, really big on that because it's really a larger conversation as well. Okay. Same thing with the next episode in 2 weeks. It's a great complement, and you can apply the principles that I'll teach in the Embracing Change podcast to any area of your life. Okay. Let's dig in, you guys. So career changing. Where do I begin? What is step one? Step one is determining why. Before you make any change in your life, you need to ask yourself, why do I want a new career? What am I hoping to achieve with this? Are you looking for career advancement? That's one kind of career change. Are you just bored? Feel complacent, stuck, want to do something different? That's fine. Do you need to make more money? Did you wake up one day at 45 and realize that you never liked insurance sales to begin with, but you've just been doing it? Whatever it is, you have your own personal why and motivation that's driving you. And you need to be crystal clear on what that is so that you know what you want to get out of this change and what change you need to make specifically, because that will be driven by your why. So as you can see, there's a lot of reasons why people want to make changes, those in their career. That's only a few examples. And there's varying degrees of career changes. You can change fields, which is what you do, specifically your job function, or you can change industries, which is who you do it for, right? So you could be a project manager, that's your function, but you could be doing that in healthcare or tech or something else, that's your industry. Or you can change both. If you really want to get wild and crazy, you can change both your function and industry. And that's a major career change. That might even be going back to school kind of thing. Otherwise, maybe to some people, a career change is just changing companies, just changing jobs. They might not really even be changing what they do. I consider that to be more of just, a job search, a job change. And that can still be difficult on its own. But what I'm talking about today is where we're really going to actually change something about what we're doing, or at least the industry that we're doing. That to me is kind of how I define a career change. But again, this show is for you no matter what kind of change you are making, big or small. You can absolutely still apply this process to just changing to a different company, because that can have significant implications, and you need to know the why and the what and the how for that as well. So this is step one, determining why. Your task here is to do some deep introspection and maybe even some journaling. I'm a big, big fan of writing it down. Heck, I even wrote a book, right? So obviously I believe in the power of writing and words hitting the paper. Make sure you are clear on your motivation, because sometimes changing careers is not actually the solution to your problem. You might think that it is, but it's not. And your problems can sometimes follow you job to job if you are not changing what actually needs to be changed, which might be you. It's a hard conversation, but sometimes it is, right? So we need to know what's wrong and why we're doing this to make sure that this is the right solution, okay? And you may need to talk to some people, even if you don't talk to us or get formal help, friends, family, colleagues, somebody to kind of support you with this process, okay? So that is step one. What I want you to do is maybe like a little exercise here, okay, is take out either a piece of paper, if that's your jam, or your MacBook, whatever you've got, and ask yourself those questions and write them out. Why are you making this change? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to get out of it? List it all out. Is it money? Is it a better boss? Is it advancement to a different title? Is it just challenging yourself in a totally new industry? Do you need better job security? Do you just hate the line of work that you're in? Do you hate the people? List anything and everything that you think is not working for you now. And then I also want you to list what is working for you, because we want to keep those things the same, right? We want to isolate what we like about our current situation and what we could change what we would change if we could. And this is where you're going to get some clarity and see okay, so is the problem that I just need to change companies? Okay, that's one thing. Is the problem that I need a totally different line of work? Okay, maybe. Is the problem that I just want to move up and have more authority, responsibility? Okay, those are all similar, but yet different. So get clarity before you start the process, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break. This would be a great time to maybe start doing some of that journaling. If you want to take out your computer and kind of multitask a little bit, I'll allow that, and start brainstorming the answers to some of those questions, or you can wait until after the episode. But let's take a quick commercial break. You're going to hear a little bit more about Career Uprising and what we do. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, and we have a lot more. We're going to go through 2 more steps in this process of changing careers. All right, we'll be right back. Hey there, listeners. Thanks for tuning in to Career Uprising. I have some exciting news for you. This show has been going steady since 2018, and I have amassed well over 100 episodes so far. So I decided to do something big and bold. I put the best of all of my teachings together in a book. That's right. I have a brand new book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all the major outlets. It's called What You Didn't Learn in School: Lessons on Growth, Change, and Living Your Best Life. This book contains 30 powerful lessons from my podcast and my work as a career coach to help you live your best life. Learn how to increase your confidence, get rid of imposter syndrome forever, finally get clarity on your career path, and so much more. This book covers everything from careers to finances to health to relationships and more. Head over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or your favorite book retailer and pre-order your copy of What You Didn't Learn in School. Then go to my website, careeruprising.com, to learn more about how Career Uprising can help you transform your career and your life. Let's get back to the show. All right, you guys. So we talked about why. That is step 1, determining why you want to make a change in the first place. So step 2 is what? And this is the hard part. This is often where clients come to me at this stage. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times people already have clarity on why they want to make a change, or they at least have some good clues, right? So most people come to the coaching engagement having step 1 done or close to done. This is where people sometimes get hung up, or sometimes it's on step 3, which we'll get to in a minute. But determining what you want to do next is a little bit more nuanced, complex sometimes. This is the part where you might need some help, or maybe an outside perspective. Sometimes that can be good, right? Because there's a lot to unpack here, and I can't personalize it to your situation, but what I can do is kind of give you some ideas and steer you in the right direction of what you want to be thinking about. And there are 3 things that a career change comes down to, and exploring these 3 things will help you to make a choice about what you might want to be doing. Your strengths, your interests, and your priorities. You want to align these 3 things, okay? So that means you need to know what you're good at. Those are your strengths. What you're interested in, your interests, obviously, and what your values or priorities are, okay? And I'll kind of walk you through these things a little bit, but our goal is to make a choice and choose a career that serves these 3 things. So strengths, number 1, is fairly self-explanatory, but you need to know what yours are, and not everybody does, okay? So these are the skills that you bring to the job, that you enjoy doing, things that come easy to you. It could be project management. It could be leadership. It could be technology. What are you naturally good at? Your interests then will give you clues as to what kind of industries you might want to target. Do you have a passion for technology? Do you find, AI and all the new changes in technology fascinating and you want to be surrounded by that? Cool. Are you more service oriented and you want to do something more philanthropic or helping people? You might like nonprofit or, human resources or something like that, right? Maybe you would have a passion for the sports industry and you want to be in work within that, or gaming or something specific like that, right? I get a lot of people who say things like that. So there could be a way for you to combine something that you're good at with an industry that you're really passionate about. So explore that a little bit, okay? And then the priorities are the nitty-gritty logistical things that you need to have to make it work for you in your life. So salary is one, location, or it being a remote job, or a certain benefit, all those things that kind of come with the job, the logistical things. Those are the priorities, right? Like, I only want a remote job. Okay, that's fine. Or I have to make this amount of money. Okay, so those are the things that are your priorities that need to exist. All right, now some of those things might be more negotiable than others, but I want you to list all of these things out. So let's put these things together with an example. So more and more, I've been coaching a lot of public school teachers who want to get into the corporate world. And in fact, I've got at least one or two right now that I'm working with. But they don't always know where they fit in and what they can do in the corporate world. And this is a big career change. So what we do is we look at what they're doing now, which is often broader than teaching. It's also training, coaching, developing curriculum, even some project management, working with technology. But we identify their core skills. Then we go out to the job boards just to kind of look and see what's out there and compare and see what jobs use those skills in the corporate world. Then we look at, well, what do you need? Do you need a certain salary? Do you need a certain location? All of those things, all right? And then we put it all together, your strengths, your interests, and priorities. So we kind of break them down individually, and then it's the sum of its parts. Now, this is a very simplistic way of looking at it, but this is the overall process that I walk clients through. Which brings us to the third step, which is determining how. So your steps are determining why, determining what, and then determining how. Making a career change involves a lot of steps. Most importantly, it's going to involve doing research. That could be online research to make sure that you understand this new job or industry that you're getting into. It might also mean talking to people and making new connections, doing informational interviews. It might mean getting certifications, taking courses, maybe even getting a full degree. It just depends. But you likely will need to upskill and bridge the gap a little bit, and unless you already have all the qualifications. But oftentimes there's something that we need to acquire in there. You're going to have to network. That's definitely going to be a part of it. You absolutely need to be having conversations with people who are in the field that you are transitioning into. This is critical. If you don't know these people already, you might have to get out of your comfort zone and make some new connections. You might need to join some professional associations. You might need to go to some meetings. You might need to go to career fairs or networking opportunities. You might need to start talking to people and getting advice and insights and recommendations to immerse yourself in this new world before you have that job. That is so helpful. All right. This is where the real work begins. We know why we're making a change. We know what we want to do. Now we got to freaking get there. Whew, I'm tired, right? No, it can be very, very achievable. But it boils down to this: doing research, knowing your target, networking, making connections, updating your resume, closing that skill gap. There's 5 or 6 steps in this process, you guys. Once you've done those things, now you can start applying for jobs. That is literally the last step. But for a lot of people, they make it one of the first steps. They just kind of go, okay, I want to get into this. Let me just retool my resume a little bit and try to apply to some stuff. And it doesn't work. They just don't realize there's so much more that goes into a career change than that. It can easily be a 3, 6, or 9 month process, depending on the magnitude of the change, or maybe more. There's one school teacher that I can think of now who I started working with maybe a year and a half ago. And it was great. We were, making progress, but the whole transition took her a year. It was worth it. She landed a great job. I checked in with her recently. She's really happy. She wrote me a nice review. Like, it was all so good, but she was in it for the long run, right? So that's one example of a major career change. Using that same example of a school teacher, you're in one industry and you're going into the corporate world. That's really different. But she did it, but she had to do the work, and it took a little longer than she thought, but so worth it. Okay. So you need to be thinking a little bit more long-term sometimes, or at least medium-term. That's a thing. Short-term to me is like 6 to 8 weeks. Medium is like 6 to 9 months. Long-term is like a year plus. It's all kind of arbitrary, but you have to have realistic expectations about how long this might take you. And I can't tell you right now how long it's going to take you, because I don't know what kind of change you want to make. And it also depends on your mindset. That's a huge factor. Also a little bit the job market and the economy, timing. There's so many things that go into this, but we can walk you through the process. You can do it, but start sooner than you think, if you are making a significant or even moderate kind of change. Okay. So there is your roadmap. Why, what, and how. I'd love to walk you through this if you need more help. We have resume writing, coaching, career path assessments, even connection to recruiters. We've really added to our repertoire of services at Career Uprising over the last couple of years. And we definitely can help you. So a couple of things that you can do, even for no cost to get started. Just go to the website, careeruprising.com. I have a LinkedIn newsletter that I've been getting more regular with. You can subscribe to that. It's called Get Hired Over 40. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll accept your connection request. Send me a little note. Tell me that you listen to the show. We'll connect. You can get all of my my posts. I have a LinkedIn group. I have the LinkedIn newsletter. Good Lord, I have a lot. I'm probably going to be doing another LinkedIn Live soon. I'm all over LinkedIn, you guys. And then, of course, we have this podcast, which is always free. And then my email newsletter. There's a lot of content out there that you can immerse yourself into to get started for no cost at all. All right. So I hope that helps you. I'm going to let you guys go for now. Let that kind of sink in and marinate for a little while. And then we will have another great episode in 2 weeks called Embracing Change and Becoming Adaptable. And I think you should listen to that as well to help reinforce this message. All right. Take care, guys. And I will be back in 2 weeks. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by inflowradio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.